Hello, everyone. My name is Ling Lei, a teacher from Foreign Languages Department, Wing University. It is a great honor of me to be a speaker of VietTiso 2021. So my presentation today focuses on the topic Teaching English during the COVID-19 gamification of online Zoom app with Quizizz from teachers and students' perspectives. So please look at a closer look at the table of content. So my research contains 5 parts. The first one is introduction. Next one is theoretical background. Third, we counted the methodology. The fourth part is results and discussion. And last but not least, it is the conclusions. So let's come to the introduction. So as we see that due to the COVID-19 pandemic, Vietnam adopted a new change in the education system. So the process of teaching and learning conducted normally in school, as usual, has been moved to home, or it is called online learning. And this new system brings a culture shock for both teachers and students. So since everything is done virtually, like class meetings and class discussion, it is unlike normal class. And there are some obstacles in this new activity. The first one is the internet connection problems. And each area has different quality of internet connection. As a result, all the information shared during the class cannot be fully accepted for those who have bad internet connection. Besides, since there is no direct interaction between teachers and students, it causes lack of control from teachers during the interface video conference with large number of students. So although we use online teaching platforms such as Zoom, Microsoft Teams, or Google Meets, and so on, but then it still lacks some things. Yeah. It found out that many students prefer face-to-face learning over online learning, since they have situational and environmental challenges. So before the COVID-19 outbreak, they used to go to school, but they study at home and see the screen as a whole with more assignment right now. So in Vietnam, especially in Vinh University, all the learning activities like learning materials, assignment, quiz, discussion, and evaluation has been managing throughout the e-learning provided by the institution during the pandemic. However, a problem is found in English courses, like more than 50 of students are disordered in their academic activities. They submit the same content for individual assignments. They seem to have lack of interest in studying. And as a result, they do not really participate and are not engaged well with the lesson. Meanwhile, the information technology has significant role in supporting education during COVID-19 lockdown. It can be seen that during this pandemic, distant and online learning education growing dramatically. And e-learning platforms are boomed for education. A computer is not merely a device that supports e-learning, but other devices like smartphones or tablets or can be utilized as well. And the existence of technology accommodate home learning. So we can see that Many researchers state that the use of creative and fun technology really influence students' motivation. And as motivation play a very important roles in the e-learning, gamification, the terms that we mentioned here, is the best implemented in the e-learning system. So in a recent study, it is revealed that gamified version of online module gives learning success to students. And it is reported that students were more engaged in a gamified learning course. In line with that, integrating games into online learning setting has potential to elevate e-learnings to a new level, helping students achieve higher degree of engagement in their online courses. So concerning all the principle of suggestion in choosing an effective and appropriate tool for distance learning, I decided to choose an alternative medium, namely Quizizz. And it has been in use in English courses and in other courses in foreign languages department in Wing University. And I really interested in examine Wing University students and teachers in general, especially students and teachers in foreign languages department, study about their perspective, their perception toward the use of Quizizz in English courses. So to conduct the story, I propose two main research questions. The first one is, how do students perceive the implementation of Quizizz in the online EFL classroom? And what is teachers' feedback towards the implementation of Quizizz in the online EFL classroom? Let's move to the next part, theoretical background. So the first term I want to mention is gamification. So gamification of language learning, that is the process of adding games elements to something, in this case, education, to increase motivation to do it. So as we can see that gamification take part in the game, including point, badges, challenges, leaderboard, rewards, incentives, and so on. And it can be applied to pedagogy to motivate students to a higher and a more meaningful level of involvement. And gamification can be used as an evaluation and assessment too. So one of the very effective tool of gamification, it is Quizizz. So Quizizz is an education app that can apply the concept of gamification according to McNamara and Murphy, 2017. So what is Quizizz? Quizizz is a game-based educational application which can be played by multiplayer as e-learning, and it can create fun and interactive classroom. Okay, and this is the screening of the Quizizz, as you can see. Yeah, so that is a typical question, right? And after student playing the Quizizz, they have the leaderboard like this. So there are some characteristics of Quizizz. Yeah, Quizizz has gamification characteristics like avatars, themes, memes, music can boost joyful learning. So even though students are in remote learning, they can take Quizizz together at the same time via computer or laptop or smartphone or tablet by entering the code, and they can see the live ranking on the leaderboard. So it is really funny and joyful because students can compete at the same time and can see what level they are at. And after that, we have immediate feedbacks and students can review the answers. So the format of quizzes, it can be include true or false, multiple choice, fill in the blank. And teachers can set the game in some ways, such as turning on or off the background music, ranking based on correction rate only, or both correction rate. And time for completing the quizzes, ranking to show only top 5 students shuffle question or not. So dealing with the feature of shuffling questions, students cannot cheat each other. So the final score really reflects their understanding in the lesson. So after a quizzes sections finish, students can review all the questions with both answers and solution. So one of the most interesting thing of quizzes is that they have a report available on the website, and it can be downloaded as Excel files. So there are some kind of related study based on quizzes. So we have quizzes in teaching enhance students to display positive attitude toward teachings and learning process and assessment during the class. Quizzes, an alternative type of assessment with gamified quizzes, checking students' understanding rather than relying on classical tests and assessment. Quizzes allow students to have fun in class and during the exercise time, but they haven't not any research about quizzes on English courses in foreign languages department at Wing University. So that's why I really want to conduct these studies. So moves to the next part, that is research study, methodology. So about the subject and setting, the subject of this research comprised 100 English students and 5 teachers. So these students are second-year students at foreign language departments of universities, and 5 teachers who already applied quizzes to their online learning. And we apply it through the Zoom section, and each section contains 50 minutes. So with the research designs, the study applied both quantitative research and qualitative research. They use the questionnaire for the student after they complete the quizzes, and the interview for the teachers to digging more on teachers' perceptions, how they think about quizzes and how they feel after they already implement the quizzes to their class. So the process of collecting data. So I have 3 process. So the first stage of the cycle is planning, where the lesson plans were designed, teaching schedules were determined, and teaching materials and tools were prepared. Okay. And the second stage involving the implementing and observing parts, which are conducted simultaneously. The implementing phase was online teaching, and learning process was based on the desires and lesson plans. With these was alternative before and during the Zoom section. So during the implementing phase, observation was also conducted. And observer will focus on student engagement and active involvement when Quizizz was integrated in learning process. And the last stage was reflecting phase, where the researcher's outcome was evaluated, analyzed, and measured. So in this phase, teacher journals was made, questionnaire was given to the student, and the interview was employed to the teacher. And about the time of the implementation. So during the course, the first week is orientation, where the teacher instructs about the teaching's materials, and the introduction of Quizizz will be employed in the week 2, when teacher will show what is Quizizz about, how to use and play on the Quizizz. And it turns to the week 3 and week 4. It is time Quizizz is conducted, and students have a chance to play the Quizizz before the Zoom and during Zoom sections. So this is the two type question, multiple choice and fill in the blank, that the teachers design for a student before and during the Zoom sections. This is student task completion. So after student completes the task and play, the screen will show the scores, okay, lively. And this is a leaderboard. They will show the ranks of all the students. So teachers can choose show early top 5 or show all the students here. So the process of data collection involving the planning, where teachers prepare lesson plans and materials, instruction for Quizizz. Next one is observation. They conduct during the implementation of Quizizz through Zoom. Teachers' journals are also recorded. The student difficulties during the implementations of Quizizz. And then we have post-intervention questionnaire and interview. This is where student and teachers show their perception toward Quizizz. And for the questionnaire, the author decided to use the Likert scale, ranging from strongly agree to strongly disagree. And they put the point on each part of it. Like strongly agree will be 5 points, and strongly disagree will be 1 point. And the minimum score for this is 4,500. The maximum score is that, sorry, the maximum score is 4,500 and the minimum score is 900. The score ranks will be 4,500 and a score ranks will be 3,600, sorry. So, and then from the range, we have total score interpretation. So from the 3,601 to 4,500, it will be strongly agree. And eventually, we can see that the last one, if the score is only 900, it is strongly disagree. So we will come to results and discussion. The first research question here. How do students perceive the implementations of Quizizz in the online EFL classroom? So we conduct a survey questionnaire, include 9 statements. And students, after doing the quizzes, they will read these nine statements and decide that they agree or disagree or neutral. And after they're doing that, author collect and calculate the score, as you can see on this table. So from the table above, we can see that students' perception on 8 out of 9 statement was neutral. Sorry, 7 out of 9 statement was neutral. And those statements are: Quizizz helped me review the course materials in online learning. Quizizz is effective in enhancing my engagement in English course during the online learning. Quizizz stimulate my interest in learning during the Zoom learning, or doing the exercise on Quizizz is fun. Quizizz has attractive display and function. Quizizz appears as a game, so I do not get any fatigue and boredom why I use it, due to real-time exercise motivate me to get top score in Quizizz as I compete lively with other students. On the other hand, the rest of statement will agree with students that Quizizz is easy to use, and the ranking functions in Quizizz help me to realize my level. The sum of the questionnaire results was 3,949, which was interpreted as strongly agree. So that score was derived by multiplying the score with option value and then sum it up. So there is the statistic related to the highest score of X items in the questionnaire. So the opt-in score, like from the highest score, we can see that 2 statements were agreed by the student. They are: this is easy to use, and the ranking function leaderboard in Quizizz have me to study. The rest of the statement were responded as neutral by so from that we can see that the students show very positive response toward the Quizizz as one of the applications in Zoom learning. It can be seen from the total score of the questionnaire results. The total score was 3,949, which was interpreted as strongly agree. The result of the study was similar to the previous study conducted by Wiba1, that students gave positive response to Quizizz, since it provides interactive quiz game as a learning medium. So this statement also agreed by most students that Quizizz is easy to use. So a study previously has shown that teachers have easier access to Quizizz by entering join code, so they can access the exercise on it. And apart from it, they can access it whenever and wherever they can. So that this application is really helpful as online learning medium. The next statement agreed by student was ranking function, the leaderboard in Quizizz motivate me to study. Quizizz provide leaderboard that shows student ranking based on gain points from the question. Hence, each student know where he or she level, so that they try to take the lead. The first the student experience quizzes in the Zoom learning, they were excited about the results on the leaderboard. It shows that they have enthusiasm and intent to study more for each competitive game through Quizizz. And the other 7 statements were responded as neutral by students. So these are possible. And it means that the quizzes have them allowed in learning and remembering the knowledge. So, and due to quizzes has shuffle questions, students have a fair opportunity and they cannot be dishonest during the quiz live section. They have to work their way up to best on Quizizz. For the next research question, what is teachers' feedback toward the implementations of Quizizz on the online EFL classroom? So the author also conducts interviews with 5 teachers and asks them several questions in terms of effectiveness of the quizzes, feasibility of the quizzes, the difficulty using quizzes, how quizzes motivate learners, and teachers' willingness to continue quizzes in the classroom. With the first one, what is teachers' perspective on the effectiveness of the quizzes? So all 5 teachers who were interviewed agree that Quizizz is effective in many ways, especially in helping learners to learn in a fun, interactive, and meaningful environment. So Quizizz has a very high potential to be exploited in myriad of ways, including for assessment and classroom exercise. So compared to old traditional method, Quizizz is better by a long margin due to its ability to attract learners to learn and do better at remembering important points learned. So it is a game. So everyone needs to earn more points by answering questions correctly. The nature of human is to win, and this sense of competitions among learners is indirectly push them to be better in their studies. And they also agree that Quizizz is effective in the sense that it helps students to learn on their own through memory retention. When learners have completed one round of the game, they are able to review the questions and do the revisions on their own. So this eventually leads them to remember the lesson content better. And one of the things that is interesting about Quizizz is that the nature of human is to win, and the sense of competition that Quizizz brings among learners will indirectly push them to be better in their studies. So the next interview question relates to the feasibility of the Quizizz. And teachers of that I interview all agree that Quizizz is quite feasible because using it is convenient for all users. However, some of them still wonder about internet connection. Students still need to be connected to the internet in order to participate in section, and sometimes teachers also feel struggles with the internet connection as well. And another one is Quizizz interface. So it is really user-friendly, which helps learners to access different functions without max hassle. And last thing is that Quizizz provides a fairer chance for learners to be active in the learning process because they have a freedom to choose when and where they would like to complete the quizzes. The next one is teachers' perspective on the difficulty using Quizizz. So the difficulties here related to internet connection and device availability. So the teachers realize that not all the learners have easy access to the internet. So there's still concerns that many students face difficulty using the platform due to so this may cause inequality in the education, especially among poor students who cannot afford internet connection or device for learning and playing on the quizzes. And it's still a concern for the teachers when they try to create or use the quizzes on the quizzes. Some senior teachers mentioned that they are not interested in using the quizzes because they do not know how to use the platform entirely. So basing on teachers' perspective on how quizzes motivate learning, 100% of all the teachers interviewed agree that students are learning in a fun, comfortable, and conducive environment with a little bit friendly competition. So they will see a huge potentials of quizzes being used in the classroom for a long time because it motivates learners to learn effectively. Learners would want to win the games they participate in, and therefore, through learners to learn more effectively, learners would want to win the game they participate in, and therefore, through constant playing of the games, they will remember the lesson content even without realizing it. Learners are also motivated to learn when they use quizzes because they are learning in a fun, comfortable, conducive environment. And furthermore, our 5 teachers agree that their learners show positive progress in the level of proficiency after using quizzes in the classroom. The current generation is generation that is very used to a gamified environment. It clearly shows that if teachers continue to use traditional method in teaching, it will be a redundant to learners because they are not used to such methods. And the last one is teachers will need to continue using quizzes in classroom. So 4 out of 5 said that they will continue to use quizzes in their Zoom section. And only 1 teacher still wondered, and they don't want to discuss about this problem, but they use that. Mostly teachers see quizzes as a very useful tool because it's create fun. And learners will become bored in the classroom when teachers only use old methods. So no question that teachers would definitely continue to use quizzes in teaching and learning English in school. So in conclusions, from the student perceptions, quizzes activities is interesting, fun, and really engaging. Student perception in the employment of Quizizz was positive. And Quizizz integration encouraged strong involvement. Despite the connections, problems, certain type of questions, even in Quizizz, students ensure themselves that this learning game was a relaxing way to understand the lesson taught during online classes. From this perception, teachers definitely view Quizizz as a platform that is effective, feasible, easy to use, and it can motivate for their learners. And eventually, teachers are now more accepting of Quizizz in online learning, even the senior teachers. Stakeholders of the education system also realize and understand that the potential digital gain, Quizizz in particular, might enhance education for learners of various levels, not just education levels. So, so this is the end of my presentation on the research topic. So I hope that this topic will be the motivation for further research on Quizizz or game-based learning or other tools for gamification. Thank you for listening.